Hi guys, we're here to test three centrifugal juicers here. First is the Omega BMJ330, Breville JE98XL, Kuvings NJ9500U. First is the Omega. Let me introduce a little bit about the specs. Parts is the 3-inch mount. Speed is at 11,000 RPM with only one speed. Motor is at 350 watt, half a horsepower. Dimension is 12.5 by 15 and 8. The weight is about 16 pounds. Warranty is for 10 years with 1 year warranty on the blade itself. The safety mechanism is very important we got here. You need to make sure it's latched on in order to operate your machine. Price is at $199. It is the most expensive one out of here, but they are technically manufactured for commercial use. Breville here has two speed. Low is 6,500 RPM. High is 12,000 RPM, which is the highest among the three. The motor with the strongest motor, 850 watt. Dimension is 13 by 2 by 16.5 by 18.2. Weight is at 13 pounds, and the warranty is for 1 year for all parts. Safety locking is this part right here, which you need to have it on properly in order to operate your system. The price is at $149.95. And lastly, Kuvings here, the parts with the 3-inch mouth, speed, it also has two speed. The low speed is at 9,500 RPM, and the turbo is 11,000 RPM. The motor is 350 watt, dimension is 6.5 by 17 and 9.6. The weight here is the lightest among the three, is at 9 pounds. Warranty on this guy is 5 years on the motor, 1 year on the parts. Safety lock mechanism is this part right here, which you need it on properly in order to operate. The price is at $149. And now we are going to test the three products and see which product produced the best juice and how much they will bring to us. We're going to compare the three juicers using Fuji apples today. The Fuji apples are cut in 4 pieces through the center. The stems and the middle part are cut out for extra cleanliness, and the seeds are left inside for the machine to do the work, and maybe we could get some nutrient out of them. So we're going to weigh each bowl and make sure they're getting the same amount of apple. It's at 1,024 grams, which converts into 2 pounds. This one is also at 1,024 grams. And last bowl is at 1,024 grams. And now we get to start the juice off. We're going to start off with the Omega. These apples, these guys are soft fruits, okay? They should be used for low speed to get better juice out of it with less friction and heat buildup. The Kuvings and Breville do have 2 speed, which has the low speed for the fruits that are soft. Omega actually only have the high speed, only one option. So in order to do a fair comparison, we're going to do at high speed for all 3 products to make sure we are fair with all the brands. So to get started with the Omega, I'm going to insert one at a time. Make sure to do the pumping motion because you want to allow the juicer to get that momentum and the speed build up in order to do a proper juicing. Let it run for a couple seconds. it off. I'm gonna do a tilt for a couple seconds to get the last bit of the juice. And then we're going to let it sit. Let's move on to Breville here. Breville's high speed is at 12,000 RPM, so it is going to be a little bit faster. And it has the 850 watts, so it should be much smoother. You see how little pumping I need to do for these guys? The motor is doing very much all the work and it's working at very high speed. Seconds. Turn it off. A bit of the tilt to get the last drip. And let's move on to Kuvings. Put it on turbo. You don't push the pusher way too much, okay? You don't want too much force onto this. You want to let the blade spin. Here's the last bit of the apple. Let it run for a couple seconds. Turn it off. And see the tilt. Okay. And let's sit for a couple seconds and see what we got. So we let the juice sit for about 5 minutes to actually see the very clear fine line between the juice and the pulp. If you look closer, you will see the defining lines here. We got the juice at the bottom that are somewhat clear, and then the middle, there's somewhat gray brownish line of layer. That is the pulp. And the very top is the foam itself and some little bit of combination of pulp with that. So that is the layer. If you compare Breville here, you see the brown line through the middle. There's a clear juice and the foam at the top. If you look at Kuvings here, if you could see Kuvings actually have very little pulp here. And somewhat a foam at the top here. I actually did a review on carrots on these guys. They show significant differences among carrots, so check that video out. Now we're going to strain these guys and actually check out what the actual juice we have collected from each guy. So let's start off with the Kuvings here. Pour into the same cup here. And you see the dropping of the foam. I'll let that one sit. Let's move on to Breville. And lastly, Omega. Turn that nozzle here.
and we're going to let it sit for a couple minutes and get the actual amount of juice. So we let these guys sit for about 5 minutes. I need to point out that these are apples. They are soft fruits, so the pulp is very fine, and the foams are here. So a lot of the foam and the pulp actually seep through the mesh here of the strainer, but you can actually see the defining line of the juice. Okay, Kuvings here has very dark juice. That means it is clear. There's less pulp in the juice itself. Let's show the amount of pulp here. These guys are mainly foams for all three products. So this is at about 525 milliliter. And now to Breville, we have about 500 milliliter of juice. And lastly, Omega, which also have about 500 milliliters. So these three juicers are producing about the same amount of juice. So it is somewhat the very tiny details of the consistency and the fineness of the juice. If you prefer a little bit of pulp, I think these three products, there shouldn't be any comparison. I think they're all great. Also need to point out that Omegas are stainless steel as well as Kuvings. That's the main difference between the Breville. Breville had a 150 watt motor, and it is running at 12,000 RPM. Okay, so that is the big difference among the three. They have excellent warranty among the three products. Omega has been around for many years, so they have the credentials. They know what the customers want. And Kuvings have shown a very consistent result with the pulp throughout the tests we have done. So that's also good with the Kuvings. Okay, they are very reliable on their juice. So these three products are excellent, especially for softer fruits. As I've mentioned, make sure to run it at low speed if you have the option, such as Breville and Kuvings, because you will get better juice out of that at lower speed. So that's what we have here, and the result you have seen. So make your decision, see what you like. These three products are designed different, they look different, they have slight differences. So you need to make the decision on which is the better juicer for you. And thank you for watching our clip.